Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the um, AEW or WWE Raw review for the 14th of March, 2022. The show starts with a very sad note: the passing of Scott Hall. One day, I'll tell the story of why Scott Hall is one of the most influential people in my life. But this is probably not the time in a Raw review like that. But anyway. He passed away due to having heart attacks over the weekend and was taken off life support earlier today. Condolences to his family and friends. Raw starts with a recap of Kevin Owens with the promo on Steve Austin's. Owen enters starting the show. Owens begins the promo with Hey Yo, and then he's going to WrestleMania. And he's going to WrestleMania. He'd also be in the main event on Saturday because his guest on the KO show is the greatest of all time, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Owens then said he used his large Canadian brain to come up with the idea of challenging the embodiment of Texas and planned on smearing Austin all over Texas. The crowd chants USA. Owens said he wouldn't see a can of whoop tail. We'd get a nice can of Canadian beer. Owens admitted he doesn't even like beer, but he'd be glad to crack one open after he beats the heck out of Austin, and that's the bottom line because KO said so. He stuns the cameraman in the ring. Match is about to start. Austin Theory enters and they air a long recap of the angle between him and Pat McCaffrey, and absolutely no one cares. Damian Priest defeats U.S. champ Finn Balor in a non-title match. I forgot that this championship switch even took place. I did not know. I had forgotten completely that Balor was the U.S. champion. Anyway, Priest gives Balor's Razor Edge onto the announce table, which leads to a break a minute and a half into the match. Balor fights back after the break and goes for the coup de grace, and then manages to get stepped on by Theory. Balor gives Theory a shotgun dropkick into the leather chair. Priest gives Balor a reckoning for a pinfall win. Non-title match. Once again, Theory gives Balor the ATL, leaving, and yeah, okay. Anyway, so Kevin Patrick approaches Seth Rollins and asks about WrestleMania. Rollins stares him down. There's chance of Cody in the background. Almost defeats Commander Aziz with Apollo Crews 159. Almost gives Aziz a suplex before hitting a tree slam and a pinfall win. Almost chokeslam Crews after the match. Excited, Owen approaches Rollins, encouraging him to come up with his own idea for WrestleMania. He's visionary after all. Owens mentions all the exciting things Rollins has done at Mania, including losing to him. Owens said maybe he could help Rollins come up with something. Rollins then perked up and smiled before walking away. Owens uses another reference to Scott Hall during that bit of the promo. Earlier today, Queen Zelina told Carmella to focus on their title defense or else. Liv Morgan with Rhea Ripley defeats tag team champion Queen Zelina with Carmella 255. Why even have them get dressed? Morgan takes a swipe at Carmella, who leaps off the apron and allows Zelina, bringing her down from the ropes with a powerbomb. Ripley chases Carmella away. Morgan gives Zelina the Oblivion for the pinfall win. Zelina gives Carmella a look after the match, so they're not getting along. Seth Rollins comes in to start the second hour. They're plugging the 3-screen release of more Steve Austin beer. There's Brock Lesnar Roman Reigns video. Seth Rollins segment comes. He says he has a plan for WrestleMania. He invites Owens to join him in the ring. Rollins said Owens had a talk show and Rollins should have his own show too at Mania. Rollins could even have Steve Austin on as a guest. Owens said that that's silly and suggested he go to the back. Rollins then agreed silly to have two different talk shows, so suggested they have a match tonight, and the winner would get Austin on their show. And Owens says no. Sonya Deville enters. She likes the idea and books them in a match for the main event. If Rollins wins, he does indeed replace Owens. Owens is angry at this. In the back, Owens explained to Deville why his idea didn't make any sense. He rambled to her until they cut away. Rey and Dominic Mysterio defeat Sheldon Benjamin and Cedric Alexander 3 minutes 24 seconds. The Mysterios give Alexander a double 619 before Rey takes out Benjamin with a Fez press. Off the apron, Dominic gives Alexander a frog splash for pinfall win. Miz and Paul attack Mysterio's after the match. Ray gets rid of the Miz, which leaves Paul surrounded by Mysterios. They drop him in the middle of the ring, set about 619. Miz saves him from the trouble. They announce the Hall of Fame induction of Queen Sharmell. Well, that's kind of weak. Anyway, Edge segment. Edge enters to new music. The Other Side by Alter Bridge. Edge calls himself the benchmark in the WWE, he insults the intelligence of the fans, and calls himself better than everyone in the industry, but hasn't shown that aptitude since coming back. He tries to satisfy the fans, and that makes him weak. He realized that the fans don't matter to him. It's their fault that Randy Orton injured him and that Rollins got the best of him, and Roman Reigns stack pinned him at WrestleMania. If Edge faces AJ Styles at WrestleMania, he would lose. Edge wouldn't allow himself to be judged by Styles or anyone else in the locker room. The crowd chants, "You suck at Edge." Edge is about to pass verdicts around here from now on. Edge warns Styles that if he did make it to Mania, you will be judged. Sarah is out there interviewing Bianca Belair. Belair offers the same explanation about using her hair she did last week. Belair says Raw's been nice and peaceful since she cracked Becky Lynch in the throat. Belair planned on shutting her up for good at Mania. Veer is still coming. This is the longest debut ever. Bianca Belair and Doudrop compete for what seems like something like maybe the 10th, 12th time in the last few months. They take each other 2 minutes into the match, leading to a break. Belair kicks out of a Michinoku driver, followed with a spinebuster and KOD pinfall win. Crowd pops, giving Doudrop the KOD. After the match, Becky Lynch yanks Belair out of the ring by her braid and tosses her around ringside. And she even threatens to take her hair next week. Randy Orton and Riddle enter for their championship celebration. RK Bro Championship Celebration begins the third hour. This would be his 18th appearance in WrestleMania and would be the sweetest one because he's going to show his tag team champion for the first time. He thanked Riddle for always having his back. Orton said Riddle threw a party last time they won the title, so Orton figured it was his turn. Orton admitted that he wasn't great at throwing parties. Riddle said he's the greatest moment of his life. He noted that this is birthday balloons and figured it's because Orton knew that his birthday was 2 months ago. Riddle also appreciated that he got him popcorn, which is his favorite. Orton admitted he grabbed it from the concession stands. And there's one more gift in a tiny bag, but they didn't reveal what's inside. Street Profits enter, and Riddle is excited. Orton invited them to the party. Montez Ford said they weren't here to party, they were here on business. Ford mentioned that his win over RK Bro a few weeks ago and challenged them to a title match at Mania. Orton notes how much they had to go through just to get the titles back and declined the challenge. Ford said he's done asking for opportunities around here and telling them that they were facing them at Mania. Orton informed him that no one ever told them what to do in the ring during his entire career, not Undertaker, not Shawn Michaels, not Triple H, or even Vince McMahon. Orton told Ford and his homie that they should leave the ring. Riddle admitted that the Street Profits beat them and they do need opponents at WrestleMania. Riddle calmed Orton down. Orton told the Street Profits that they should be grateful for Riddle. Orton accepted the challenge and Ford is happy to hear it. He said the next time they were in Jacksonville, they'd throw a party that wasn't, well, weak. Riddle was offended and insulted Orton's party and challenged them to a match. Angelo Dawkins accepts on Ford's behalf. AJ Styles comes to Raw next week. Tag Team Champion Riddle with Randy Orton defeats Montez Ford with Angelo Dawkins 9 minutes via DQ. Riddle tries an overhead suplex on the outside of the ring. Ford lands on his feet and hits a clothesline off the steel steps, which leads to a break. Ford remained on offense after the break until Riddle comes back. Orton inspired power slam and draped DDT. Ford countered an RKO and enziguri, but Riddle comes right back with an RKO. Before Riddle could make a cover, Otis lays out Orton on the outside of the ring. Chad Gable takes him out, and Riddle goes after Otis. Otis knocks him down with a DQ. Announcers speak about Scott Hall's passing. They did a terrific tribute video, and the video gets a chant of Razor from the crowd. Owens enters the main event around 10:30. After the break, they they plugged Owens' beer again. After the break, they told us that Belair was taken to the hospital after Lynch's attack. Main event is on here. Anyway, so they go to the break after Owens counters diving to a senton. Owens uses tornado DDT before spiking Rollins with another DDT for near fall. Rollins fights back and hits a sling blade and a springboard knee before hitting consecutive dives. The second sending Owens to the out to the announce table. Owens then barely beats the 10 count, but runs into a thrust kick. Owens follows with a frog splash for near fall, and they battle for the buckle bomb. Owens then hits an avalanche fisherman suplex for near fall, and he then tried a senton, but Rollins gets his knees up. Crowd chants, "This is awesome." It's really not. Owens fires back with a clothesline. Rollins counters stunner into a schoolboy for near fall. Could have been a 3 count, but the referee is out of position. Rollins piles on the referee. Owens hits him with a stunner and a pinfall win. Owens retains his position, and ultimately, Rollins still has no match for Mania. No Cody Rhodes. Hopefully, the internet has been worked by the Cody Rhodes thing. That would be wonderful. Anyway, we'll be back with more right after this.